Greetings and salutations, this is Ratchet here, back with more Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, and we are now heading to Savali. So let's go. Apparently I was wrong, because I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm pretty sure I did, that the order I did these in was that I went to Blizzard Prime, then I went to the planet that Ratchet and Clank go to after that, then I went to Savali. But no, apparently I did it the right way, because the right way is to go to Savali first, so you can have the hover boots. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the hover boots are really damn fun in this game. Like, you really need them as soon as possible. Granted, I should have waited here before I did that side mission with Rivet, but you know, it's whatever. It's whatever, dude. And I am speeding up here a little bit. I'm probably gonna start doing that for any section where like I stop to edit the appearance of Ratchet and Rivet. I'm probably gonna stop. Probably going to like speed them up, you know, just so they're still kept in. It's not like there's not a weird cut there, but because to me, I feel like a cut there would be a little awkward, because then you're like, why was it cut there? Like, I mean, I could say why it was cut there, but that would also get repetitive. Like every video where it's cut, oh, I was just editing appearance. Oh, I was just editing appearance. Like, imagine that. That would just get on your nerves, wouldn't it? I know it'd get on mine if I was watching a Let's Play that was said like 70 times. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up because this is actually an important cutscene.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about building a Dimensionator, would you?
Ratchet? Ratchet! Gary! Your reputation precedes you. You'll need to go to the interdimensional archives. My apprentice can help you. But,
Town under attack?
how did you know?
I'll go check it out. I think I still remember how to stop an invasion.
But yeah, we're back in control of Ratchet, and I'm gonna be honest. This is the first game in the mainline series
Good luck, Ratchet.
in a while where Ratchet feels like a three-dimensional character again. Last time that happened was literally a cracking time. I mean, he's okay at Into the Nexus. I will say that he's okay at Into the Nexus, but like the movie game, which or the 2016 remake game, I know that I don't really count that as part of the mainline series because it doesn't make sense continuity-wise. You know, I think I said before, the games if I haven't said it before, then I'm saying it now. Like, I just in case I haven't said it before. The games I consider the mainline games is Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, Ratchet Deadlocked, Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction, Future Quest for Booty, Future A Crack in Time, Into the Nexus, and Rift Apart. That's what I consider the mainline game. But to be fair, there were a bunch of games in between A Crack in Time and Rift Apart. And Into the Nexus didn't really need Ratchet being a three-dimensional character. It really didn't need him to be, because that game was more focused on the progs than Ratchet and Clank themselves. So that was fine. Plus it was a short game, so you don't really notice it. Ratchet wasn't really bland there, though. He's kind of bland in All for One, Full Frontal Assault, and the remake. Really bland in the remake. And this is the first game since A Crack in Time where Ratchet has a sort of arc going on. And I kind of like his arc in this game. His arc is basically tied around like being scared to go see the Lombaxes with Clank. He's scared to do that, you know? That's his arc in this game. And it's a valid arc. It's a good arc to follow up the arc that A Crack in Time concluded. Like literally, even though Into the Nexus happened between A Crack in Time and this game feels like a sequel to A Crack in Time. That's what it feels like. It really does. Like in every way, shape, and form, it feels like a direct sequel to A Crack in Time. aside from obviously the much smoother gameplay and much higher graphics due to it being, you know, 12 years apart of release. But you know, aside from that, in every other aspect, it really does feel like a direct sequel to A Crack in Time, and I think that was really the best way they could have gone, because even though Into the Nexus is a pretty good game, not a lot of people love it. Because, like, you gotta think about it, every game up to A Crack in Time has a lot of fans. Like, every game from Ratchet 1 to A Crack in Time has a lot of fans. In the mainline series, I have to specify, because I'm not counting Size Matters or Secret Agent Clank. Which I've said, I think I've also said before that I've played every Ratchet Clank game
Now about
in the mainline series, except for the original trilogy, and I have. But I've also played All for One and Full Frontal Assault, which suck ass, and the remake. So I've played every Ratchet & Clank game except the original trilogy, Size Matters, and Secret Agent Clank. And I'm kind of glad I've never tried the last two or the original first game, because I know I wouldn't enjoy those. But I kind of do feel like I missed out with Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal. I feel like I would have loved those if I ever did decide to try them. I should have tried them while I still had a PS3. I really should have, because I could have gotten the HD collection. I really should have tried those two games. It was a really, really big missed opportunity for me, and I'm still a little mad at myself to this day that I never, like, got that collection to try those two games. Yeah, let me shut up, because cutscene.
So embarrassing.
You all right? That was quite the landing.
Who are you?
Sorry, you look so familiar. I'm Ratchet. I'm here to find, I think it was Gary's apprentice. I need to build a Dimensionator.
Oh dear. Well, there's little I can do, seeing as my archives are walking away. How do I get back up there?
Oh, you're his apprentice. Maybe we could work together?
I do not make a great partner.
How about this? If things go badly, which they won't, we go our separate ways. No questions asked. Team?
Sure. Team. For now.
A really cool detail that I actually never noticed until this game, because let's be honest, this is the first Ratchet & Clank game where their eyes have like this much detail, which, yeah, they kind of did in the 2016 game too, and they kind of did in the Future series and Into the Nexus, but like, this game just has a lot more detail in the eyes, so it's like more noticeable what Ratchet's eye color is. But something I noticed in this game, because I never noticed Ratchet's eye color. I really never did. I never noticed that it matched Clank's. And something that I really love as a design choice is that, like Clank, Kit's eyes match Rivet's. And I love it. I really fucking love it. Like, I love that detail. I couldn't really explain why I love it. It's just a nice parallel, because Rivet and Kit both have blue eyes, and Ratchet and Clank both have green eyes. Obviously, they're different shades, because Ratchet's eyes got like the shade of green in Ratchet's eyes has like a little yellow in them. Like it's more of like a an olive or a lime kind of color. I can't really tell at the moment because I'm not seeing them. But you know, he's got like, yeah, right there. See, he's got like a tint of green that's closer to yellow than Clank's eyes are. I don't know what the difference between Kit's and Rivet's are yet, because I'll have to wait till next time I see Rivet. But I know Clank and Rivet basically have like plain green and plain blue. Like, they're just light. They're just like bright. They both have like a plain bright version of that color. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? When I was editing the video, I never noticed that I just stopped here. What am I doing? Am I listening to this entry?
Around. See if someone
I
knows
probably
anything.
was. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. Something I have to defend this game a little bit. I feel like I have to, because I for some reason I see more hate for Rift Apart than I see like love for it when it comes to like people talking about it. And I know that's because of the whole like usually the toxic people are the more vocal, which is a really true statement. It is a really true statement because like the toxic part of any community can make the whole community look bad, even though when in reality they're like maybe 12% of that whole community. Because toxic people feel entitled and they feel like their like opinions matter more than others, which is not true because everyone's opinions matter. Like, if I'm stating my opinions here, if you disagree with me in the comments, I will respectfully let you do that. As long as you aren't trying to argue with me or say that my opinion is factually wrong when opinions aren't the same thing as fact, I will have to say that. So like, if you want to do that, if you want to do that in the comments, go ahead. Don't try to argue with me and don't try to say that I'm factually wrong. Because technically speaking, every opinion is right, unless it's based on ignorance. But the opinion I'm about to give isn't based on ignorance. It's actually quite the opposite because it involves knowing the stuff that I'm about to talk about. What I'm talking about is I hear more hate for this game and see more hate for this game than love for it, even though like when you look at statistics and stuff, there are more people who love this game than hate it, like way more. Because there are people who bitch about this game, like bitch and moan about it. And you know who those people are? It's the same people who think the games got worse after going Commando for some odd reason. Now, I never played the original trilogy, so maybe I just don't understand this part, and I could be wrong on saying that like the games got better over time, but in my opinion, Rift Apart is Ratchet Clank at its peak. And aside from the fact I've never played the original trilogy, aside from that, there's nothing you could use to really say that my opinion is wrong. Factually wrong. Because I have no way to play those original games. So in a way, you actually really couldn't use that either, unless you want to give me a way to play those games so I can see for myself, like, you know. And like I said before, if you disagree with me, you disagree with me. I am open to that. I am open to hear your side of the debate. I'm gonna call it debate because it's not an argument, like I said before. But something I'm getting so sick of is people like hating on any Ratchet and Clank game that isn't going Commando. I'm so sick of it at this point. I really am. Cause like, okay, the 2016 game, I will admit, deserves a lot of hate, which is why the only thing I've ever defended for it is literally the gameplay. Because every other aspect, only the gameplay and graphics are good. The story is shit, the voice acting is awkward as hell, the writing is cringe for the most part. There are a few lines that land, but for the most part the writing is cringe. Like, I'm sorry, but hashtag Gadgetron comes to mind. An example of when the writing's actually funny is the "Whoa, dude, Skidbit Marks" line. Like, use the promo code, whoa, dude. Like, that was actually hilarious. I laughed my ass off the first time I heard that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That was, like, a fantastic line. But on the flip side, you also have hashtag Gadgetron.
We'll keep working on it.
My God. Like, that game is just shit in every way except gameplay and graphics.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Like, it
As
really
for
is.
wombats?
It really fucking
Sure,
is.
but
And even
I'm
the
not really
gameplay
an
suffers
expert
a
on
little bit
Wombaxes.
because it's too easy
Kind of
even
the
on
last one
hard
in my
mode.
dimension.
And what's weird
I'm from
is
another
the
dimension.
only reason
Yes,
I've
I know.
never beaten the
You
game on
do?
hard mode is
I am
literally that
Gary's
one
apprentice.
section where you're like running through the sewers. Why does hard mode affect the time there? Why? Why does it affect the time there? It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It doesn't make sense because that's not... I've never seen, like, a game difficulty affect the timing. The timing of a timed section, you know, like when you gotta get out of somewhere in a certain time. I've never seen that. In RE2 Remake, at the end of, like, most scenarios, there's like a, I think it's a 10-minute timer. I think it starts at 10 minutes. Where you have to get out and defeat, like, the final boss of that scenario. Like, you have to get out and beat that boss in less than 10 minutes. But it's always 10 minutes, no matter the difficulty. Because that's what it should be. Changing the timing of something is not making it harder. It's making it annoying. Because, like, this is something that
What did you
I
wanna
feel
know
like it's
about the
getting...
Wombax?
I honestly think it's getting
We
better
believe the
with
Wombax
time.
is used and
Because
built
my challenge mode run on
temples
Rift
here.
Apart is
Do you
on
know
hard
why
mode,
they would have
and
built
it
them?
seems like only the things that should
Not
be boosted
really.
in difficulty
I
are
guess
boosted
it
in
was to keep
difficulty.
knowledge about
There's
the
no like
Dimensionator
weird
hidden.
changes
I
like that
see.
fucking sewer part
you anyway.
in the remake being sped up to where you can't even get out in time on hard mode. Like, I'm sorry, that still pisses me off. But like, yeah, like that's... The games are getting better about that. They really are, and I like it because games are getting back to where I feel like they were in the 2000s, where like difficulty was difficulty. It wasn't throwing like a huge amount of enemies at you instead of like the few enemies you normally would have. Even though Rift Apart does do that, but those sections don't really make it harder or more annoying. Actually, those like Rift Apart does it right. Rift Apart gets enemy amount right. A game I would say doesn't always do it is the first Borderlands game. I'm actually playing that at the moment, and there's some sections where like they just throw like a huge amount of skags at you. And skags aren't hard to deal with. They're easy as fuck. Even when there's a lot of them, they're easy as fuck. They're not gonna do any damage to you. Like, I've never died from what I'm about to talk about, but there are sections where you'll have like 70 skags running at you all at the same time, meleeing you, and it's not really hard, and you don't really die from it. But what makes it annoying is that you stagger when you get hit, and like that's the kind of like difficulty design philosophy I really hate in video games. Giving the player a situation where they're staggered or stunned over and over again really quickly, that is not difficulty. Because difficulty is supposed to make a game harder, and that does not make a game harder. It makes a game annoying. And there's a big difference. And I'm glad games are really getting better at them. I've noticed it. I really have. I'm going to give like credit where credit is due. Crash 4 never does anything like that. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about the situation I just mentioned where like enemies stagger or stun you over and over again. That's just an example. I'm talking about cheap gameplay design for difficulty, which is a design mentality that I'm glad is like seemingly dying out. And I was just using that as an example. Another example is the sewer section in Ratchet Clank 2016 that I mentioned earlier. That's another section where like on hard mode, they really didn't need to like make it faster. They could have just threw more amoeboids in your way. That would have been more difficult. But what they did is actually just annoying. You know? And back to what I was saying, I've noticed the games are getting better with that because Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes never put you in scenarios like that. From what I've seen, Resident Evil 8 doesn't do it. The Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart doesn't do it. Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time doesn't do it. I haven't really played any new games except for Rift Apart since It's About Time, so I'm sorry that I don't really have like a lot of examples. But from the looks of it, a lot of games are, it's like something that's fading out with time, and I'm kind of glad about that, because I'm gonna be honest, who likes that kind of difficulty? Because that, like I said before, I don't even consider that real difficulty. That is something I'm gonna call pseudo difficulty, and pseudo means fake. It's something, what I mean by pseudo difficulty is game design that's made to make you think something is more difficult, but it's really not. It's just more frustrating to get through. And difficulty and something being frustrating / annoying is not the same thing, because I could get through a really difficult part of a game and I won't get mad at it. That's what Rift Apart does. There's a lot of parts of Rift Apart in my challenge mode run. Because I think I mentioned earlier that I'm doing hard mode for that.
Take as long as you need.
I did normal mode for my Let's Play, but I'm doing hard mode for that. But not once has the hard mode for this game made me feel like it's cheap design. It feels like it's natural, organic difficulty. It feels like they actually tried to make it difficult instead of being like lazy and throwing in annoying aspects that make you think it's more difficult than it is when it's not. Like, there really isn't anything doing that. Like, I think a good example of this is the Dr. Nefarious boss, where like he charges at you and uses like a blade on you. When he does that, that is not pseudo difficulty. That is actual difficulty, because you can dodge it. You can dodge that. You have like a split-second warning that it's coming, and it doesn't take a good chunk of your health. It takes just enough of your health where like it punishes you for getting hurt, like you should be, but it doesn't feel like it's unnecessary. It doesn't feel like it's fake difficulty for the sake of fake difficulty. Nothing in Rift Apart. Rift Apart is literally the definition of the kind of difficulty, excuse me, you heard that, that I think video games should have in general. And Ratchet Clank, Crash Bandicoot 4 almost gets this job done right. Almost. There's a couple sessions where it don't, but for the most part, it gets it done right. Crash 4 is almost the same example that Rift Apart is. Crash 4 is a really difficult game, to the point where I gave up trying to get all the gems halfway through my first run of the game. Like, it's that difficult. But I didn't give up because I was frustrated or anything. No. Because it's natural, organic difficulty. It isn't fake difficulty for the sake of difficulty. The thing I'm complaining about with certain games. You know a good game I could actually, like, shit on for this? You know what good game I could do that for? I feel like I'm gonna get people hating me when I say it. Should I say it? Should I say it? That's what I'm thinking about. Should I even say it? Actually, I'm gonna give a different example instead, because the game I was gonna say is gonna get me a lot of hate, and I feel like this other example fits more with what I'm saying anyway. Sonic Rush. The original Sonic Rush is a great example of how not to do game difficulty, especially for Blaze's story. Because, oh my god, does Blaze's story in that game have so many difficulty spikes. And the difficulty in that game, a lot of time, is not actual difficulty. It's things made inconvenient to give you the idea that it's more difficult than it is. The same thing I've been talking about for like the past, I want to say like 10 minutes. That's
There is
literally
only one
it.
temple
Like,
left.
the original Sonic Rush game, not Sonic Rush Adventure. Sonic Rush Adventure goes into a group with
One more
Crash
temple.
4,
Only
Ratchet
one more.
Clank Rift Apart,
You'll find them.
and
I promise.
I'll throw Resident Evil 2 Remake into that mix too. Those are 3 difficult games. Or games that can get difficult, where the difficulty is extremely fair. It's usually your fault when you fail. The difficulty is made to be actual difficulty. It's not just
As I
something
said,
being made annoying,
You should not
inconvenient,
try
or
to give me
frustrating
a
to make you think it's harder than it
Or
is and
be
make you
my-
rage quit.
my friend.
Look at it, you Sonic Rush.
I think you're being
Like
too hard
Rush
on yourself.
Sonic Rush
You do not
Adventure,
know.
Ratchet and Clank, Rift
Just
Apart,
met.
I know Gary trusts you.
Spyro the Dragon,
The monks like you.
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Maybe give the whole friendship thing a
Actually,
chance.
you know what? Every game I've Let's played on this channel
Will consider.
is literally those types of games. I just thought about that. Well, except for Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors is actually a really easy
So
game.
how'd you get to be Gary's apprentice?
So, aside from Sonic Colors Ultimate,
It
like
is
that's an exception.
long
And
story.
if I do BioShock, that's like
I am
another
lucky that
exception because
Gary's
that
so
game's not that
potential.
hard.
you seem
but
different from the other monks around.
Aside from those two, every game that I Let's played and plan to Let's play
I know.
is literally
I
that
am
kind of
smart.
difficulty. When it is
feel
hard,
bad.
you know?
I'm usually the
And
shortest
that's the
person
way
in
it
the
should
room
be.
except for Clay.
But yeah,
my best
we need a
friend.
song of the day, so give me a second. We're almost done with the video and I still haven't done that, but I was gonna stop what I was talking about like a couple minutes earlier so I could do that. But I wanted to like finish up what I was saying. So that's why I did eventually get to a stopping point. But today's song of the day is give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. That's not the song, shut up. But anyway, but today's song of the day is On That Jack by Mayday. Bottles in moderation is not my operation. I rock parties for a living, that's my occupation. But I'm not even sure, but genre reclaim. Too many styles for my own good, got mama to blame. I like rock and roll, hip hop, soul, funky rhythm, but they can't tell where we living. So fuck the critics. When I drink, I get honest and a little friendly. You know I go to girl right, but things been trying to tempt me, love. This must be the invention of the devils who meddle and rebel in the stench of drugs. Line up a shot or two and make it pros. Somebody tell me why we still ain't played this late night show. It must be me, right? Just waiting on the Evite to run through the green lights. Instead, I gotta be right and kick it with the sea lights. I'm back to back. Advils, rat packs, mad real. Jacks with the pack wheels, trunks full of black wheels. And get yourself some old number set day. Quick to help you get laid or enraged for set day. JD, blocks bleed safely. Shots lead, and before you know it, you'll be looking at your people screaming. You are in knee deep. You need some medicine. Once again, feel free. It's in your head again. Come with us, be Lee. They wouldn't let you in unless you pay the fee, please. See, we on the jack again. We on the jack. We on the jack again. We on the jack. We on the jack again. We on the jack. We on the jack again. We on the jack. We on the jack again. But yeah, that's the song of the day. It's On That Jack by Mayday. It is a really good song, really good vibe to it. Like the beat is literally one of my favorite beats of all time. Like I can't really mimic the beat. It wouldn't really get it right, but you should definitely listen to it for the beat alone, but the lyrics are really good too. Yeah, it's about drinking, so what? The lyrics are actually clever and nice to listen to. You know, and they're not just like all about, oh, I get drunk as fuck or stuff like that, whatever mumble rap shit. You know, it's not that kind of shit. Anyway, I'm gonna end off the video here, so bye!
Game over.